Ramana Maharshi's words are deep and direct. My comments are intended to bring his deep words into your experience. Next, the questioner brings up the difference between Western and Eastern perspectives on the mind. The Westerners tend to view the mind as the highest principle, while Easterners hold the opposite view. Ramana explains that where psychology ends, philosophy begins. He suggests that the mind is limited to the realm of psychology, but beyond the mind lies the realm of philosophy, which deals with deeper truths than experiences. He asserts that even without the mind, our existence continues. And this is a universal experience that can be verified by anyone. Finally, the questioner mentions that Western philosophy recognizes the influence of a higher self on the mind. Ramana does not directly respond to this statement in this dialogue, so we can't provide his specific viewpoint on this based solely on this dialogue. Ramana's silence is an invitation to plunge into your own immediate and direct experience. Does your higher self depend on a mind for its existence? Does the mind depend on the higher self to exist? Which is at the base? Which emerges from the base? Ramana Maharshi's teachings on Advaita Vedanta emphasize the non-dual nature of reality. Advaita says there is ultimately no separation between the individual self and the ultimate reality. The goal is to realize this. Ramana's teachings on Advaita Vedanta emphasize the non-dual nature of reality. Advaita says there is ultimately no separation between the individual self and the ultimate reality. The goal is to realize this unity and recognize that the true nature of oneself is the same as the ultimate reality. In this dialogue, Ramana's responses reflect this understanding. When he questions whether we ever go out of the self and what it means to give up something, he is pointing to the idea that the self is ever present and all-pervading. From the perspective of Advaita Vedanta, there is no need to renounce or pursue external actions because the true nature of yourself is already complete and whole and is always the experience, whether noticed or not. When the engineer asks about satsang, Ramana directs the focus inward. He suggests the essence of truth, sat, is within yourself, implying that the true association with the sages is recognizing and realizing the truth within, the sage within yourself. This highlights the importance of self-inquiry and self-realization in the path to spiritual progress. Regarding the mind and the heart, Ramana states that the mind is not separate from the self, but rather is an expression or manifestation of it. This aligns with the Advaitic perspective that everything is ultimately an expression of the same underlying reality. When discussing differences between Western and Eastern perspectives on the mind, Ramana suggests that philosophy begins where psychology ends. While Western psychology focuses on the mind as the highest principle, Eastern thought, particularly Advaita Vedanta, goes beyond the mind to explore the deeper truths and experience of existence. Ramana asserts that even without the mind, our existence continues, which can be experienced and understood by everyone. Ramana's teaching on Advaita Vedanta emphasizes the realization of the non-dual nature of reality and the recognition of the true self. He encourages self-inquiry, self-realization, and turning inward to discover the ultimate truth that lies within yourself. The mind, as an expression of the self, is not separate from it, and true spiritual progress comes from realizing this fundamental unity. So inquire, know yourself, and be always happy and at peace. These videos help bring Ramana Maharshi's teachings into your direct experience. Subscribe now to help you deepen your understanding and practice to know the self. Just click the subscribe button.